Hello, it's Uncommon Fossil, and today I want to present a revised Claydol Ditto Lock deck. I've incorporated a couple of the new cards from Paldea Evolved that I definitely do make the deck stronger, and I have switched up the engine, which I'll get to, just trying to help it set up a little more consistently and a little faster. So it's based around Ditto. This is what you want to attack with 70 HP basic Pokemon. It actually has no attack, but it has this ability, Sudden Transformation. This Pokemon can use the attacks of any basic Pokemon in your discard pile, except for a Pokemon with a rule box. So what do we want to attack with? There's two fighting Pokemon that we want to use. One is Terrakion, and that has Cavern Tackle. It's 3 energy to do it. You have to have whatever the energy requirement for the attack is. Both of these attacks utilize 3 energies, and we're only using fighting energy in the deck. So Cavern Tackle does 120 damage. It's okay, but then here's the big part with it. During opponent's next turn, prevent all damage from attacks done to this Pokemon. That is a real plus. Now, to avoid this being super overpowered, Pokemon places this significant restriction. If one of your Pokemon used Cavern Tackle during your last turn, this attack can't be used. So you can't even switch between Dittos or between Terrakion and utilize it. You can't use Cavern Tackle back-to-back turns, so we need another attacker, and this is another one with a really nice upside to it. Zapper Kick does 70 HP, so 70 definitely not big damage, but you may discard all energy from this Pokemon. If you do, your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed, so quite nice. Paralyzing your Pokemon, your opponent can't retreat out of it. In order to attack or do something, you have to switch or evolve, so that is very strong. And it's sort of a lock deck, but it's certainly not a hard lock. Your opponent can get out of it, but if you can get it set up quickly enough, your opponent, to get out of that kind of soft lock, they need to use resources, and they can only usually do that so many times. So if you can get this deck set up fast enough, your opponent's really going to struggle to win the game. To get the energy on here, especially if we're using Zapper Kick to discard the energy. Oh, I just want to mention here on Zapdos, if we can attack with either the Terrakion or the Zapdos directly. The Zapdos does have this ability to play it from hand, strong legs charge. You can attach up to 2 fighting energy from your hand to this Pokemon, so sometimes we'll take advantage of that too, just something to keep in mind. But to get the energy in play, which is what I was saying, we have the Stage 1 Claydol, so 110 HP, and it has Mystery Charge ability. You can use this ability only if you have no supporter cards in your discard pile, so a significant limitation because supporter cards are terrific, but that it allows you to attach a fighting energy from the discard pile to one of your Pokemon. So we really want to get ideally 3 of these Claydols in play so we can power up a Ditto every turn as we need to. And then we're playing a 1/1 Kirlia with Refinement to discard a card and draw 2. We can really only afford 1 bench slot to the Kirlia ultimately, so we really want to try to restrict it to 1 slot, which is why the deck does not have much of an engine. Only 1 kind of draw Pokemon we can play, and we can't play any supporters. We could play Grant, but this new build drops that. I'll talk about that in a minute. For energy, we're playing 11 basic energy. I played 12 before, so I'm just going to go over the changes from the other deck first and foremost. The reason for that is we play Super Rod, which is a very helpful card from Paldea Evolved since we lost Ordinary Rod. You shuffle up to any 3 combination of Pokemon and basic energy from your discard pile into your deck, so that gets us energies back into the deck as we need it. Has some value, but it's more important there to get Pokemon back. We do play Rescue Carrier to get Pokemon 90 HP or less back, but that we can't get the Claydols back. They're 110 HP, so having Super Rod helps with that. Might want a second Super Rod. It would have benefit. I've kind of contemplated adding that into the deck. And the other new card we put in here from Paldea Evolved is Superior Energy Retrieval. I dropped the Grant and replaced that with this card. Grant would allow you to discard 2 cards to recover from the discard pile. Therefore, you could get it out of the discard pile every turn in order to use the ability, the Claydol's ability. It would boost your damage of your fighting Pokemon, but we want to be attacking with the Ditto. It's colorless, so Grant wasn't a big help to me. So Superior Energy Retrieval, I like. It does 2 purposes early on. It's besides Ultra Ball, it's another card to discard to get that Terrakion or Galarian Zapdos in the discard pile, which is super important. And then also, late in the game, playing it and getting a bunch of energies into hand is useful, because a lot of times you'll get 2 Claydols in play, so you're going to accelerate 2 energy, but you need to get that 3rd energy attached to your attack, so you need to attach manually. So having superior energy retrieval, very helpful for the deck. So for Ultra Ball, get Pokemon, discard. 2 Rescue Carrier, recovers Pokemon 90 HP or less. In that, this is a plus going with the Kirlia engine instead of the Bibarel engine, because we can recover the Kirlia. We couldn't recover the Bibarel with it. So 2 of those. That's another card I might want more than 2 of. But deck, obviously deck space is always an issue. 2 Escape Rope for switching for me, forcing my opponent to switch to. I think I like it in the deck more than switch. We can often accelerate 1 energy just to and retreat off depending on what the board state is. 4 Trekking Shoes just to help dig through the deck and get cards in the discard pile. 3 PokéStop. This is super good for setting up. You get items in hand. We don't play any supporters, so we don't have to worry about those. It's an item-heavy deck, so great for those. And we want to get, obviously, some of those Pokemon, the Zapdos, and the Terrakion in the discard pile, as well as some of those energies, so PokéStop helps with all of that. As I said, superior energy retrieval, Super Rod. 4 Gutsy Pickaxe. It's a card that I don't play often, but it makes sense in this deck. Again, we want to shrink the deck up. You reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a basic fighting, and if it's a fighting energy, you accelerate. You can attach it to one of your bench Pokemon. If it's not an fighting energy, you put it into your hand. You can only use this if you have a card on bench. That's one thing, because you have to accelerate the energy to a bench Pokemon if it's an energy. You can't put it into hand. So you have to get a card on the bench in order to utilize it. That sometimes that becomes important. 4 Nest Ball to get Pokemon in play. That's super important. And I put 4 Great Ball in. Could play Capturing Aroma. I just don't like the flip aspect of it, but perhaps that would be a better option. The Great Ball maybe could get replaced by something else, depending on what you want to do. So let's see how this deck performs for us. All right, so we'll see how this deck performs in this game here. Hopefully I can go first. As with most decks, you want to go first here. It's an evolution deck, so you definitely want to get that started as quickly as possible. So it's a single prize deck that definitely has the ability to come back. So falling behind a couple prizes isn't terrible up against, especially most decks being multi-prize decks. Falling behind too far, though, eventually will probably make it unwinnable. All right, so put the Baltoy into the active. I really don't want to bench the Terrakion. All right, so Miraidon. So attacking with the fighting Pokemon does have some advantage here. All right, let's get an energy in the discard. That's not bad. Okay. Ditto. I want to get 1 Ralts down. And I have the Kirlia in hand. All right, and what do I want to get down with my other? Do I want to? I'll toss down another Baltoy. I might get knocked out. I'm going to attach to Ditto and then pass. See what happens here. I could have attached to Baltoy, but at this point I think Ditto, and then I can attach manually and accelerate 1 if I get 1 Claydol into play, and then attack. They are weak to the fighting Pokemons, which meant I could have played the Terrakion. The Terrakion will one-shot all their Vs or EXs because they're all fighting weak. The problem with attacking with Terrakion, you can't then attack with it again the next turn, and if I haven't managed to get either a Galarian Zapdos in play or Galarian Zapdos in the deck and energy up on my Ditto as well, I can't attack. So I like the option of, I want to discard the Terrakion with Kirlia, manually attached to Ditto probably. Hopefully I have the opportunity to accelerate and switch. We will see, right? Okay, so they didn't do much. All right, the deck really wants... I get the Terrakion, in the discard pile quickly. That's good. I would like... All right, that's not terrible. I will use Gutsy... I'm trying to think sequencing. Gutsy Pickaxe. Ditto's not bad. All right, I'm gonna discard Super Rod. You know, I might need this later in the game. That is certainly possible. So Ditto and another Baltoy down, and just manually attach and end turn. So not terrible, not good, honestly, but my opponent didn't set up particularly well last turn. I don't think they have any spread attackers, at least that I've seen, so that's good. They're just going to one-shot whatever I have, but that's okay. You kind of expect that with this deck. At this point, if they knock out... I'm hoping they don't knock out the Ditto with the 2 energy. That's probably the worst thing to do. You know, okay, so they're going to pivot and knock me out. I don't think they're going to gust me up, so that's not terrible, right? They just need to get rid of 1 energy for the knockout. I just need to get 1 energy attached, and I can attack this turn. I do have free retreat with Beach Court if I want to. Got a Claydol, so boom, I can attack, but let me... I would prefer to attack with Galarian Zapdos. That's probably not going to happen. I think it's definitely not going to happen. No, Zapdos, okay. Well, that's not bad. Let me get 2 Claydols into play. I could bench a Zapdos, right? I could do that. And just do I want to do that? I need to decide. I don't have any... I assume my opponent is going to knock me out. They might not knock me out, though, right? Yeah, I'll put Zapdos in. If they rope me, I'll let them... so, because they might want to rope me, right? So I'm immune to damage. I can't attack with that attack next turn, and I don't have Zapdos in the discard pile. So I could have kept the Zapdos in hand, and then I could have discarded with Kirlia, right? That's I was thinking that through. That was one definite possibility. It might have been the better play. But let's see what they do here. So they switched. Okay, drew a card with it. If they get a boss, that's not great. We'll see. I might have made a mistake with benching the Galarian Zapdos. It gives me... It has certain advantages, though, by doing that. So we will see. No, I guess I shouldn't have benched it. I'm trying to think. I did. Obviously, if they do a hand disruption card was part of it too, which they're obviously not doing. And at this point, I might not be attacking this next turn. But I will do a hard retreat, send up the Zapdos. Probably attach to the Zapdos. Want to encourage them. Do I want to... I think I'm just going to Kirlia away the Great Ball, because it's possible I don't hit a Pokemon with Great Ball, and I really would like to draw something. That's quite nice. So let me... PokéStop is very nice, so... Now I don't need that, and I can... So I have one. I can get a second energy by retreating, so I don't really want to have full... I think retreating off one, and I could attach one and attack... okay, so... So I think I want to accelerate to Zapdos. I'm going to retreat manually. Put in a spot where they may want to knock out the Zapdos. I want to encourage them to knock out my Zapdos. That's what I'm trying to do here. And then if they don't knock out the Zapdos, I can retreat with him next turn, which isn't bad, right? Because I have the Claydols down. So I'll just end turn here. And they're just top decking, right? And they get a second card with the Raikou. So I don't mind them knocking out the Zapdos. I've kind of started slowly here, but I'm getting positioned. You know, honestly, I don't going behind by giving up 2 prizes. Being behind 2 prizes is perfectly fine. I can come back from that most of the time. It's when you get to 3 prizes, and 4 is really bad. 3 is kind of dicey. All right, lost PokéStop. They like Beach Court, so but I have another PokéStop to play, so that's okay. So now I can start paralyzing them. I like that. I got to get rid of my rod, right? So I might want to... All right, so what do I have here? Let's see, I haven't discarded a Claydol yet, right? So let me PokéStop. And getting rid of their stadium's good too. I'm going to want to paralyze them. All right, that's not... So what I get? So Pokemon, I have a Baltoy and a Ditto, which I don't mind getting back, right? Should I get rid of Gutsy Pickaxe? I think I don't mind pitching that. I want to keep the Ultra Ball. All right, well that's very nice. That's good, good, good. So let me thin. All right, get a Ditto. No, actually, I don't want that. I don't want you down, do I? It's not going to hand. I don't want you on the bench. So that was... I should have... that's fine. I just thinned there. So Ditto. Get a Baltoy down. That's what I want. I can get down... I can search out, and I have the Claydol in hand. So that's nice. So what do I have? 3 energy. So I want to... I have both Pokemon, right? So Terrakion. So I'll accelerate to the other Ditto. Start getting him powered up. I think is the right play. I'm going to discard all my energy this turn when I attack. 70. And discard all my energy. Yes, so now they're paralyzed. So even if they toss down Beach Court, it doesn't get them out. Wow, those paralysis audio effects are a bit on the strong side of my headphones. So they play Beach Court, so they probably don't play too many switching cards in deck. Because they have Beach Court to switch is what they're relying on. They must play some, right? But probably only a couple. So bosses, orders... but I have energies in the discard. So, okay, so this gets a little tricky. I need 2 there. I do play rope, so I could rope them. I don't know that I really want to rope them, though. All right, so Ditto in a hand isn't bad, so... and I'm starting to get thin on my deck. That's one thing that happens with... No, wrong card. Get rid of him. Get rid of that card. I do have a rope. Okay, so do I want to play the rope? Let's see, I could go 1, 2... No, I can't attack them otherwise, so I'm going to play rope. That's okay. So... now I have that extra energy acceleration down, so 2, and I'll accelerate 1 to this other Ditto. You know, they may play a good number of bosses in the deck, so that's definitely possible too. I will put you on Ditto. Ditto number 2, and Zapper Kick, Paralysis. So getting the damage spread around. I'm not sure why they sent up Miraidon. I think they, well, I was thinking they probably should send up a Flaffy. So bossing again. So I'm not guaranteed to attack now, because I need to accelerate 2 to retreat. And if I can't attack, I probably just want to let the Kirlia get knocked out. I think I don't really want to use PokéStop though. We'll see. We'll see what I top deck and see what I do from there. Energy Retrieval is not. Oh, okay. So that gets me what I need, right? Well, I have to discard 2 though, so I can go 1, 2 to you. So let me look at their thing. So they have 2 boss. If they keep bossing me, it's not good, right? So let me use Kirlia's ability. Get rid of this Claydol. See what I draw into first. So PokéStop, energy. Oh, okay. Well, that's all I need. I don't need to use Superior Energy, right? Energy. So I can pay. So that getting the energy in hand is what I needed. So I'm going to sit on Superior Energy Retrieval because it's a nice card to have. Eventually, you know, they disturbing me? They definitely are. They're disrupting for sure. That's why. But you see why it was important to that accelerate that 1 energy to the Ditto, right? And this is why I don't want to have more than 1 support Pokemon in the game. I need all 3 Claydols. I mean, I guess I potentially could skip the second Ditto on the bench, but you know, I do think it's important having that other Ditto. I can set up that other Ditto if they play a rope. You know, if I had 2 Kirlias and 3 Claydols, so another boss. So they might. All right, they're making. So now I'm in a bit of a bind. 1, 2. So now I think I'm going to have to let them take out the Kirlia. Which isn't. So now it gets dicey here. 3 boss. They potentially could boss 1 more time. That's the most they can do, right? They're not hitting my bench. Let's see what I top deck. I do have. Well, I hit rope, so that's bad for them for sure. So I'm just gonna, I think, just rope and attack. Yeah, I'm gonna just rope and attack again. See what they send up. Could take the knockout and be immune. I could hit with paralysis, right? I have that option, giving me a fresh target. So I'm going to paralyze. I'm in pretty good shape here. Hitting that rope was really, really nice. I mean, they're bossing me up is good. It's making my life difficult. I've had to get a little lucky with my draws, drawing into the energy help. I did have my superior energy retrieval to utilize instead, but obviously saving resources is good here. Don't want to Kirlia. I don't want to thin the deck any more than I have to. So at this point, they have 1 more boss is the max they can have. I don't know if they play 4 bosses or not. Yeah, so I haven't seen a switch card yet though, so they probably have some switch cards in their deck also. If they rope me, I'll send up the other Ditto. So they're digging hard. So now, so they're not going to boss this turn. I think I'm just going to paralyze them again and see what happens. So that's fine. The Ralts is not a bad card, and they concede. So there we go. Like I said, it's not a good. It took me a little over 10 minutes of turns on my part because they're slow, but got the win. So you can see what happens with the deck. Set up very nicely. Set up pretty nicely, right? I was a little slow. My opponent was slow for sure, which helped out getting me set up. But a fun deck to play, and can win some games. Can rank up, move up on the ladder. So I like that too on the rank ladder. And I think this is a better build. I definitely like Superior Rod for an energy for the old list, definitely. Super Rod, Superior Energy Retrieval, I think is a plus in the deck. Don't need Grant, I don't think. And I do think the Kirlia engine is an improvement, because you tend to, when I had the barrel engine, it would tend to, I'd get 5 cards in hand eventually, and I couldn't draw any more cards. So having the Kirlias, I think, is a better option. And a strong deck, give it a try if you haven't. If you've played the deck list before, I suggest making these tweaks to it and let me know what you think about it. And if you have any other suggestions for how the deck could be improved, please let me know. Take care.